Hey, all of you pepper gardeners out there, it's time for another video in our pepper series and time for us to catch up with those little pepper starts that we got started out recently. And we're going to take a really good look at our do-it-yourself seed starting station that I've been using for many years. It's easy, it's fun, it's basic. You're going to love it. Stay tuned. So, all right, everybody, it's been a few weeks now, and welcome back to our pepper series here on the Urban Gardener channel. Thank you so much for joining with me here today for this video. Now, we are going to talk about the light station that I use to grow these peppers. I'm going to show you kind of how basic and how easy it is. I've had it for years. And again, this is some real simple stuff that we're covering here, but they're kind of systems that I've used that have worked for me over the years very well. So I just, I kind of rinse and repeat. So I thought I'd share it all with you here in this series. Again, too, before we get moving forward, I would love to hear from all of you. What would you like to see in this pepper series as we're moving forward? We're already kind of cruising along here now. So is there anything moving forward you like to hear me cover? Do you have any questions about anything so far? I could dedicate a little bit of time to future videos to maybe answer some questions if you have or anything like that. I would really love to hear from you right down below in the comments. So definitely do that. I did think of something that I also want to do kind of as we're going through this process and everything, through some kind of things and discoveries that happened here as I'm looking through our pepper plants already. As you can see, last time I left you, we just basically sowed these things. So they've really kind of grown. Like I said, it's been a few weeks. They're actually, like this tray, they're ready to move on. So I'm also going to be steadfastly working on our very next video too, where I'll show you guys how I transplant all of these pepper seedlings into this cool 2-cup system I use. And we'll talk all about that in our next upcoming video as well too. So look forward to that. Again too, they're all kind of grown, so I'm kind of doing an inventory now, going through each of our different varieties, each of our different trays, kind of assessing how many of our seeds have germinated, have become seedlings now that we can move on. Like I said, move on into transplanting when we get to that. But again, I've run into some issues. And again, too, that's one of the things that's going to happen as we move forward as well, too. There's going to be some failures, some mishaps, or some things that might kind of come along in the process. I want to share all of those with you all as well, too. This year's crop, it doesn't look like last year's crop or many seasons I've had before. But again, too, there are seasons where we don't have things work out quite as well as we were hoping or anticipating them to do. And I kind of really, I anticipated some trouble with some of our older seed. I mean, I kind of worried about it. I kind of wondered about it. But this year's strategy was to get into some seed I've had for years, kind of sitting back, some varieties I haven't grown for a while, that sort of stuff. And so I kind of picked out some varieties I got from others over the years and years past and all of that. So again, maybe some storage things, maybe some things like that are an issue here, but we did lose a couple of varieties from our list. No germination at all from 3 varieties out of everything that we set to grew. So we have those ones, Purple Beauty, the super heavyweight, which I'm really disappointed in. I think I might have a different set of seed from some that I got, again, too, it might be older. I'm going to retry, maybe see where I can get with that one in particular. And then another one I got from our friend Brandon many years ago too. Again, this is probably my fault. It's probably something that had to do with some sort of storage thing or something like that. Because again, too, I'm sure that most of this seed was good as I've grown it before and it's germinated before. But none of those varieties have gone, so they're off the list now. But again, too, we really only have so many spaces when it comes down to it. And we still have tons of seedlings to choose from. And that's why I grow a lot of them. That's why we use a lot of these trays. That's why I go for a lot of varieties to make sure that I ultimately end up with at least the few plants that I'm going to need to move on into our outdoor gardens later. And again, becomes another sad part of the process is a lot of these seedlings don't end up making it into our garden if we really think about it that way too. So again, some varieties didn't go very well, but there was one thing too that I was kind of noticing, something I've kind of thought about and looked at and I've seen before with other varieties I've tried growing in past before. I've seen this sort of particular thing happen before, but I haven't seen it to the level that I've seen it in the varieties we're growing this year, which makes me think a little bit more about what's happening here. And that's kind of, I'm thinking what is happening, again, probably some storage issues here, but some of our older varieties, the seed's starting to go stale. And I'm not saying like the seed inside, because the seed has that outer coating. I'm thinking it's the outer coating itself is kind of going stale and hardening up to a certain point where ultimately the seedling's having a hard time pulling itself out of it. It can get out and put the root down in, but as it starts to rise up, what should happen is these little seedlings should shed that little seed coat as it's pulling out of the soil, and then the cotyledon leaves pop out. And that's where all the energy for the plant stored is, right in those leaves and everything. So it's developing and they're pulling themselves out to open up to really push that energy into the rest of the plant. And what I've noticed is, again, too, is that they're having a hard time pulling out of it. So they're pulling that seed coat up with it, and some of the cotyledon leaves are having a hard time pulling out of it. Some of them are getting out somewhat, and some of them are like really still holding on to that. And then some of them ultimately aren't getting out at all. And that seed coat is really just basically pinching off the top of the plant. And I've got several of those that has happened to. And basically, you know, it just looks like a little stem popping up out of the soil. And it's not going to grow or develop or anything at all. Those are pretty much dead plants when it comes down to it. And so, again, I've noticed that, and it really comes down to the point ultimately is how we store our seeds. We want to be storing our seeds really good, really proper. And again, too, we do still have plenty of varieties to move forward with. We'll talk more about that as we get moving on to more videos. I want to talk about this light station with all of you real quick. We'll go over it here. It's very simple. It's do it yourself. I learned about how to do this years ago from an old YouTube gardener who I've talked to many times here on this channel in our live show, Gary Pilarczyk, and it's just a simple PVC setup. Let's take a look at that. So right back here behind everything going on in the living room there, just along the way to the front door, we've got my PVC light station. I've had this thing for well over a decade, maybe 12 years even. I'm not sure how long it was ago that I watched Gary's video and saw him. His was a little bit smaller at the time. I don't know if he did any other ones or not, but it really sparked the idea for me of what I could possibly do. And then with a little imagination, here you go. So really all it is a bunch of 1-inch PVC. You've got, what is it? I think there's 14 of these corner attachments, and then we've got 10 of these, or these are corners, these are 3-ways. So you've got 10 of these and 14 of these. And you put those together, and you can kind of, adjust height, width, however you kind of want. I set it up so I could do the 3 here on top. And then again, too, we've got PVC. It kind of runs across the top there. And it goes just a little over 4 feet. Enough so that I can fit the 4-foot shop lights in there. But yeah, so it goes a little over 4 feet. And you want to make sure, and this is something I figured out in the whole planning of all and putting this all together, is that you kind of have to have these going across the top and across the bottom to really kind of make it a solid kind of system, or a station, as we call it, a light station. But the top there, you got the rails. You can use it as a shelf here. I just got some of our, lids and other trays and things like that that we can put right up on top. And yeah, so again, you can adjust all of these, set them all up, make a nice frame with all of that there. And then what I did is I started drilling some holes across so that I can put some of these eye screws in here. And then we got some of these little S hooks that kind of hook in and hook out. You can find other different ways of making an attachment. I'd use this so that I can adjust. So I have these chains so I can adjust them up and down, so that I can make sure the lights are just right where I want them to be. So we have this kind of set up like that. Simple. It shouldn't be too much of a problem, but you might be able to find out something that makes it even simpler too. That's a great thing about do-it-yourself projects. But so yes, we got those all attached there too. Again, 4-foot shop light fixtures. And these are T12 shop light fixtures that I'm using. And again, here we are just doing seedlings and microgreens. We got some microgreens down there I just started up, so I got a couple of trays of those getting ready to go. And then I kind of got like a little plant starts. In fact, I got some snake plants that I cut up, and we're kind of growing some new snake plants and some other things right there too. So just kind of a little light station for a few different uses where we can utilize just this amount of light, and we can really get the light right on them. And it doesn't have to be very much. That's why I'm just using inexpensive, and these are the cheapest ones you can find, 4-foot shop lights, T12s. And then I just put in some what were old like fluorescents that we used before, but we're transitioning now into using LEDs. So as they're going out, I'm changing them out. I think by next year I'll just have all the rest of them changed out and we'll all be LED now. I'm looking for shop lights, 4-foot shop light replacements there for as high daylight as I can get, around 6,500 Kelvin if you can find, and try to match that with about as high of lumens as possible. And then, so this is all set up to kind of cage in this 4-foot table. So I got this 4-foot table, and it's got, like I said, it's got another couple of lights to have a little section down below that I've got all set up. There's some soil down there too that we can kind of have like that. And then again, we can adjust those up and down as we need to as well. And then I can take this all out if I need to for other taller plants or anything else I might need to put into the center space. I can move this outside of it and then utilize the underneath of it as well too. So it's really kind of versatile. It's really kind of cool. It's really simple, and you can put one of these easily together yourself. And if you can see down there too, you can attach just a little bit of a fan, and then you can set timers up to make sure everything's timed, goes on and off at time levels that you want to for each different phases, or however you want to do that. But again, these seedlings, don't need very much power because they're only going to be here in here so long. We got a whole nother phase that they're going to go through later on that we'll cover in an upcoming video. But the one key thing too, and this is key from the point that they start germinating and coming up out of the trays to the point that you're transplanting them out of here, you want to make sure that the light isn't very far from the plants. In fact, these are going to go down just a little bit more. I put them up a little bit so I could show you in here. But I want them almost touching, just right up above, maybe a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch above my seedlings. And that way they're getting nice, they're going to grow nice and stocky instead of getting leggy. We don't want leggy starts. And then again too, you see down there we got a fan on, like I said, that'll run intermittently and blow some wind on these to help build some strength in those stocky plants, to help them become some really good strong seedlings and all of that too. So yeah, really great light station. Lots of great things you can grow out of one of these here. Pepper seedlings, like I said, right now, and microgreens coming up. We'll be putting in tomatoes and all sorts of things here coming up in the coming weeks. But a really great way, easy to put, you know, kind of to the side somewhere in a part of your house or in a place that can kind of be out of the way in a way. And yeah, be able to get yourself all of your peppers started for the season. So, all right, there you have it. A nice look at our light station that we use to grow all of our pepper seedlings in. A little update on where our pepper seedlings are at. And like I said, our next video, we'll look at transplanting them out, and I'll show you how we move on to that phase of their growth. And again, too, really fun to hang out with all of you guys here for our pepper series. I hope you're enjoying it. And like I said earlier in the video, if you have any ideas or suggestions or questions or anything like that, that you might want to see in upcoming pepper videos as we move along, growing along this season, let me know. Get down into the comment section below, and I'll try to feature that and talk about those things in upcoming videos as we, like I said, as we keep moving. We're just getting started right now. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of really cool things. Like I said earlier too, I kind of discovered something about the idea of our seedlings not getting very many of a couple of varieties because of some of the issues we had. So I think what we'll also do is take one or two of our varieties, and we'll do something I don't normally do with peppers, and we will isolate some of them so that we can save some seeds from them and hopefully maybe get a shot at getting more of them down the road. So hopefully we can do that. I think that'll be a good addition to the whole series. Tell me what you think. Get down in the comment section below if you can. Thank you all so much for joining with me on this video. Be sure to, you know, do the like button, all of that sort of stuff. I'll see you guys on our next video.